Right at the top of the hour, this is News Tonight at 8. My name is Patricia Lukoma. First though, let's look at the top stories. In our headlines tonight, Supreme Court nullifies sections allowing civilians to be tried in General Court Martial. Transport time on Mwanza Port Bell route reduced to 18 hours. Goma residents struggle for water as DRC battles M23. 2025 golf season to help support Entebbe Referral Hospital with medical equipment. Thank you so much for once again allowing us into your space, and we delve into the technicalities of our news. Now, President Museveni has appreciated the work done by the presidential skilling industrial hubs spread across the country for their role in combating unemployment by equipping youth with practical skills for self-employment and job creation. The president said this during the commissioning of the Lango Presidential Skilling Hub in Ayeresel, Barapo Ward, Lira West Division, Lira District, and pledged to expand the skilling courses offered in the skilling hubs across the country. President Museveni also was happy to learn that the new curriculum introduced by the Ministry of Education has an element of practical studies that were taught to them even during the colonial times.
We're going to increase the skills here. We're going to include motor mechanics.
President Kobonia Nyayo, Netukere Metie, Amekele Yobedo, Yeo, Copper Toha, Karakel Krupi Hegini.
And plumbing.
Karakel Kope Yubupi.
Maybe also electric work.
Come Machilink to a Kireme Yubo, Ikaroke Yabo.
So that they have got a bigger base of skills.
UPE, primary, USC,
and we are even, the Ministry of Education is introducing a new curriculum.
Ministry of
which has got an element of practical work. Even in the colonial times, we used to do some of these things like these children are doing here, like carpentry and so on. So therefore, please, if you appreciate what is happening here, go and spread it out in the primary schools and in the secondary schools. Now, I have heard about expanding the hubs, and we shall study that. But for now, I'm going to set up a circle. Jennifer has already done that. For the graduates per district. The zone is too far, so the circle will be at the district.
Well, now the Supreme Court has ruled that the General Court Martial has no jurisdiction to try civilians, declaring that its involvement in such case is unconstitutional. The landmark decision delivered by Chief Justice Alphonse Wing Odolo upholds a constitutional ruling that had nullified military trials of civilians. The ruling follows a petition by the former Nakawa MP Michael Kabaziguruka, who challenged his 2016 trial before the General Court-Martial, arguing that it violated his constitutional rights.
Of the UPDF Act, which provides that any person not otherwise subject to military law who aids or abets a person subject to military law in the commission of a service offense is constitutional, is hereby set aside. All charges or ongoing criminal trials or pending trials before the courts martial involving civilians must immediately cease. So I said all charges or ongoing criminal trials or pending trials before the courts martial involving civilians must immediately cease and be transferred to the ordinary courts of law with competent jurisdiction. 3. This judgment, you just note, don't stop this clapping thing. This judgment shall have no retrospective effect on any conviction made and sentences imposed prior to the date of this judgment, save where the conviction and sentence is being challenged in the court of law. All pending trials or partly high criminal cases that fall under the civil law court's jurisdiction, which are against members of the UPDF who are subject to service law, must be transferred to the civil courts with competent jurisdiction. 5. Save for the issue of the establishment of the General Court-Martial as a court of law, this appeal fails and is hereby dismissed. The cross appeal is hereby allowed. The respondent is entitled to the cost of this appeal and in the Constitution. Since my brothers and sisters agree either unanimously or by majority concurrence of the orders proposed in this judgment of the Chief Justice, orders are hereby accordingly given in the terms proposed by the Honorable Chief Justice. According to that regime, judgment is delivered to Kampala this at the first day of January 2025. As I said, we intend to obey you the soft copies of the judgment by close of business today.
Indeed, quite a landmark decision there by the Supreme Court. And of course, one of the arguments was that the existence of the court-martial cannot be questioned. However, to enforce discipline with the military, it has to be military specific and against offenses for military personnel. So we have a variety of opinions about the ruling this very afternoon. Now, as we move ahead, President Yoweri Museveni has appealed to the business community to embrace marine transport to its comparative advantage over road transport. While representing the president at the launch of the MV Mpungu at Port Bell, Zira, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja hailed the project implementers for advancing trade and environmental priorities.
Owned by East Africa Marine Transport and operated by Green Road Logistics Africa Uganda, MV Mpungu, a new vessel plying the central corridor route of Port Bell and Mwanza, will offer faster and greener transport options on Lake Victoria. At the inauguration ceremony at Port Bell, Luzira, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, who represented President Yoweri Museveni, emphasized the vessel's potential to drive economic and environmental progress.
With our population of 49 million people, Uganda is part of the East African community comprised of over 300 million people. And the East African community is part of the African Continental Free Trade Area, with a combined population of about 1.3 billion people. Accessing these growing markets is vital if we are to achieve the sustainable socio-economic transformation we are working towards. Without access to scheduled flight services on Lake Victoria, accessing markets in neighboring Tanzania and beyond is a challenge. The inauguration of the MV Mpungu, therefore, marks an important milestone for East Africa, advancing our trade and environmental priorities whilst strengthening regional ties.
The 96-meter vessel, one of its kind on the route, will undertake a minimum of 2 scheduled crossings per week. In addition, the vessel has a capacity to carry up to 21 fully laden freight vehicles, the equivalent of up to 1,000 tons of freight per crossing.
I strongly believe that the coming of MV Mpungu will transform trade between Uganda and the other member states with whom we share Lake Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, government is also working to improve the infrastructure of this place.
The shipbuilding investment itself, I'm told, is over $25 million. This is a good investment and a commitment from the co-shareholders. Greenrod's purpose is deeply ingrained in our ethos to positively impact Africa's trade with the world and uplift the communities we serve.
The new development in the region's maritime industry comes at a time when Tanzania and Uganda are enjoying a rapid increase in trade and logistics.
Being in charge of Tanzania Port Authority in Uganda, as we're dealing with the Central Corridor, this is really going to increase our capacity as well as enhance our operations and grow our market much better.
It is much more important because we cannot keep on relying on one port. And on the other hand, there has been very massive improvement of transport infrastructure within the Tanzanian territory. We have had improvement in the railway systems.
The potential to transform Lake Victoria into an important trade route has been recognized by the East African community as an important water body crucial to strengthening regional ties. The newly unveiled MV Mpungu is a unique vessel on the waters of Lake Victoria. Unlike the other vessels that are linked to the railway line, this one, it allows trucks to roll in and roll off with the cargo. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
Now, thank you very much there, Dennis Sigua. Now, let's step a little into the health sector, where people living with HIV plus civil society organizations have called for operationalization of the HIV Trust Fund to consolidate domestic funding for HIV programming. This follows a sudden shock to the HIV services due to the executive orders issued by U.S. President Donald Trump that include halting foreign aid pending a 3-month review. Let's hear more in this report.
The United States government has been instrumental in supporting Uganda's programming in HIV prevention, care and treatment, where the country has realized important strides in both community and health facility-based services. However, a recent directive by the U.S. President Donald Trump to halt foreign aid pending review for 3 months has paralyzed all U.S. aid-funded programs, including HIV.
With ceasing of the services, with stopping of work and health care workers being taught to go back home, it has an important impact on women, and therefore it has an impact on how women are going to prevent new HIV infections. Because if they are not getting the services, first of all, they are not going to be tested, they are not going to know their status, and those who are HIV positive are not getting the services, including services for prevention of mother-to-child transmission.
So the lives of Ugandans are safe. We are going to safeguard with whatever, even if it means stopping some activities. We shall do whatever it takes protect the lives of Ugandans.
Although U.S. President announced a waiver on humanitarian aid, the guidelines are not yet clear, according to the Ugandan civil society.
Therefore, it has not taken effect, not yet operational, and we are awaiting the guidance on how it's going to be operationalized, because the same people that are supposed to dispense these medicines are the same people that have been stopped from working.
But we continue to implore everyone to act like Tasso and Mildmay, to remain on job so that we can continue to get services.
Now, people living with HIV and the civil society organizations have called for the operationalization of the HIV Trust Fund to ensure that there is domestic financing for HIV programming.
How do you take all these years without a fund to take care of your own people? 1.4 million, and in each of those 1.4 belongs to a family of 5 or 7. That's about 10 million people directly affected by HIV.
Uganda has an estimated 1.4 million people living with HIV, with 1.3 million accessing life-saving antiretroviral therapy. Adia Nakute, UBC.
People living with HIV and our
Well, still in the health sector, Uganda is on a high alert after the Ministry of Health declared an outbreak of Ebola strain, and that's the Sudan strain that has already claimed the life of a 30-year-old male nurse. Our reporter Adiana Kuti has the details on Uganda's experience with Ebola outbreaks and how the public can play a role in curbing the spread.
Ebola is a deadly disease caused by infection with one of the Ebola virus strains. Africa has 4 strains of Ebola that include Zaire Ebola virus, Bundibujo Ebola virus, Thai Forest Ebola virus, and Sudan Ebola virus. All of these strains can cause serious illness and death.
Because all of them really manifest the same. What we know, it is also severe. Last time when we got Congo, Sudan, we lost quite a number of people. So people need to be reminded that their responsibility of safeguarding and making sure that this infection is controlled also lies with them, to take extra precaution, to make sure that anyone who falls sick is reported.
Uganda has had several Ebola outbreaks, with its first experience being in 2000, where the index case was confirmed from Gulu district. This outbreak is described as one of the most devastating epidemics, where 425 cases were recorded, with 224 deaths representing a fatality of 53%.
An official, I think in the Ministry of Health, rang me in the evening and said, we have a hemorrhagic fever, that's what we call them, a hemorrhagic viral fever in Gulu. We don't know what type it is. This was, of course, very bad news. So I said, fine, I'll be coming to Gulu with my colleagues at the ministry. But that evening, I rang the head of state, President Museveni. He said, we've been attacked by a hemorrhagic type of disease in Gulu. We don't know what it is.
Other countries that have had the worst Ebola outbreaks are West Africa and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Uganda last had an Ebola outbreak in 2022, where the first case was reported in Bwende district, and then spread to 9 other districts before it was contained within 42 days, following improved response over time. Now, Uganda is on high alert again after the Ministry of Health announced an outbreak of Ebola Sudan strain that has claimed 1 health worker. The signs and symptoms of Ebola include nausea and vomiting, red eyes, severe headache, cough, diarrhea, fever, rash, and chest pain. However, it can be prevented by avoiding high-risk areas, regular hand washing, and avoid contact with an infected person or fluids. In order to contain the just announced Ebola outbreak, the Ministry of Health has put in place a number of measures, including activation of the country's incident management system and heightened surveillance.
Our our regional emergency operation centers in Kampala and Mbale to work 24/7 to continue to do active surveillance, and we have also activated our task teams in the respective places to make sure that they are on high alert.
The Ministry of Health has therefore urged the public to be alert, calm and observe standard operating procedures. Mary Namkose, Adia Nakuti, UBC News.
Well, thank you both. Now, the Office of the Auditor General has been requested to undertake a forensic investigation of non-existent projects under the Parish Development Model PDM initiative. According to the Auditor General's report 2023-2024, 170 beneficiaries in 124 circles in 37 local governments had non-existent projects. This was among the highlights that the Office of the Auditor General wanted members of Parliament on accountability committees like Park Local Government, Park Central and Kosase interest themselves as they interface with accounting officers to answer queries in the Auditor General's report.
The Auditor General's office has held a sensitization meeting with members of Parliament on the highlights of the Auditor General's report for the audit year ended December 2024.
11 billion for the partial implementation. You are simply sending a committee to audit that figure. So far,
and we are also treating this exercise as a risk gathering exercise. Indeed, there are certain sectors we may not have looked at critically, and we are going to consider during our SORA processes.
The acting Assistant Auditor General, James Bantu, said one of the thematic areas is the special audit on the pension and gratuity payroll, where the Auditor General realized that government will require an additional 42.894 billion shillings to cater for all pensions and gratuity areas in financial year 2024-2025.
It's showing that whereas in that year there was a revised budget of 931 billion, okay, when we computed in terms of who are the people supposed to be on that pension payroll, we realized that that budget is actually supposed to be amounting to 974 billion.
On the implementation of the Parish Development Model Program, the report indicates that 342 beneficiaries in 235 PDM circles in 50 local governments had implemented ineligible projects in the year under audit.
170 beneficiaries in 124 PDM circles existing in 37 local governments had non-existing projects. And of course, Honorable Chair and members, there are some of these where the Auditor General has already been requested to undertake forensic investigations to follow through on these non-existing projects.
Some members of Parliament on the accountability committees asked Auditor General how it audits a program that does not have a policy, while others say the program is not clear and that people are not well sensitized on how to use the money to transform their lives.
So the projects inspected were in existence and were implemented. Now, the issue is, which projects are these and where are they?
They implemented the punishment model without a policy. So you are gauging them against what? So you went for cash, you did not go for why the cash was given.
Do you evaluate this program, which has no formal structures? It has no, where do you begin? You talk to a peasant who has no accounting officer.
From my mountain, they will tell you, this is people's drinking money, PDM, people's drinking money. And those who have benefited have now become the daily drinking officers.
The Auditor General also observed that under progress on implementation of RAPEX, some of the rationalized entities had board members with running contracts far beyond the transition period. However, no clear arrangements exist on how the boards will be dissolved.
While interfacing, we discovered that we think this agency should have had a qualified opinion. How do you rule out corruption in your office?
As you also commented on the budget cuts in your area, where close to 32 billion was cut, equally the same was in the sector of justice, law and order.
We have to see how this Auditor General gets the funds, because meaning most of the entities are not being audited. They are there enjoying government, the taxpayers' money. So
some members of parliament wanted the Auditor General to clarify its mandate, asking why it goes ahead to investigate private entities.
We ended up with, because I showed them really, you are coming to audit an independent, a private entity. What's your interest? The owners, a cooperative has its owners.
Now, the same law you were referring to, I think, gives the Auditor General mandate to follow money wherever it has gone, even if it is a private agency. So here we were following up monies that came from the Cooperatives Ministry, having been paid to this cooperative institution.
The Office of the Auditor General, in its 2023-24 report, submitted over 3,000 reports and now wants MPs to generate interest and dig deeper into these reports. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Ogwetawinji at Parliament.
Now over to Kawempe, into politics. Candidates vying for the position of Member of Parliament for Kawempe North are in tension following the recent nominations by the National Unity Platform NUP. Friday morning, several candidates accompanied by their supporters flocked the National Unity Platform headquarters in Makerere Kavule for nomination documents. Let's hear more in this report.
There was tension at the National Unity Platform NUP party headquarters in Makerere Kavule as several candidates flocked in for nomination. The NUP nomination exercise intends to find a suitable candidate to replace the late Muhammad Segirinya. Among the candidates that appeared Friday for selection at the party headquarters include, among others, Matthias Mulumba and Moses Nsereko. After scrutiny, Mulumba was handed a document acknowledging receipt of his nomination.
I've attached and included the contacts that will give you a phone call and communicate to you on the next level of attention. Next week on Wednesday, we expect to have the qualified candidates that will proceed to the next level.
So I brought my documents. They were still afresh because it was in 2021 up to now. You remember all along, we were sorry in Kawempe North we have not been with a member of parliament since our late Honorable Segirinya fell sick, so we had no member of parliament. So at least I've come today to the NUP headquarters. The program is that they have to give a card, but it also depends on your qualifications. Because
Minister Mulumba excluded confidence, calling upon the people of Kawempe North to render him all the trust.
In Uganda, and it has been a song that corruption, everywhere there is corruption. The big person, which is the president, is also crying of corruption when the solution is there. The religious leaders are crying of corruption when the issue is there. The police, all organizations are crying because of this. Even investors are crying of the problem of corruption.
Next was Moses Nsereko, who was also in company of his supporters. He was taken through the same process.
Come to you that you met all our requirements for the call of expression for the Member of Parliament of Kawempe Division.
Thank you, Madam.
Our power,
people power. Nsereko declared his readiness to win the race if endorsed as the final party candidate.
I have come to contest as a member of parliament for Kawempe North County constituency
2025 to 2026 on the National Unity Platform ticket in this by-election.
However, he was questioned about his eligibility since he's not a registered voter and resident of Kawempe North. He stated his right to contest in harmony with the constitution that allows him to contest as long as he's a registered voter.
And disqualifications of members of parliament. A person is qualified to be a member of parliament if that person is a citizen of Uganda, is a registered voter, has minimum formal education of advanced level standard or its equivalent. Me, I have a bachelor's degree.
People power.
I did the BBA. I majored in management at Indeja University.
Both candidates affirmed that they would not run as independents should they fail to secure the final NUP approval.
I'm sure because I know how I'm going to serve NUP and the nation. But in case I don't get that chance and they pick another one, I'll go behind him because I'm a mature person. Uganda has to go on. NUP has to go on.
If I'm endorsed by my party, I will contest. But if I'm not endorsed by my party, I will definitely support that one who has been endorsed. And I will not stand as an independent. Thank you, sir.
NUP officials made a recount of the day's exercise. Charity Marion Imnat and Jamil Sekaja for UBC News.
Now, into education, the National Curriculum Development Center has developed a transitional curriculum to facilitate the pioneers of the lower secondary curriculum to join A-level. The center director, Grace Baguma, says that A-level developed transition and competency best, intending to remove content overlaps.
Happiness, wherever you may be.
The pioneers of the lower secondary curriculum, which began in 2020, completed their Uganda Certificate of Education examinations in the 2024 academic year. To align with the current A-level curriculum, the National Curriculum Development Center has developed an abridged transition curriculum.
But we found a way of having it integrated or incorporated at A-level, especially in the science subjects where some of the concepts, if they don't catch up with them, they will not be able to manage tertiary education learning.
This new curriculum framework is competency-based and will incorporate all 29 syllabi from the A-level curriculum with special methodologies for effective delivery.
The teaching and learning approaches, in brackets the methodology, the assessment approaches, in other words, the number of papers and the manner in which the children will be assessed, maintained subjects. There are 29 subjects at A-level, and those are going to continue. They will only be tweaked to include what I have already said in terms of the methodology and other things.
The Ministry of Education and Sports plans to organize nationwide teacher training, prioritizing school administrators to ensure a smooth blending and transition.
The teachers will be trained using both online and also offline because of time and other challenges, but there will be an effort to not trained that you are getting a new thing, but trained in the sense of exposing you to what has changed in terms of the methodology.
The National Curriculum Development Center has developed specialized materials to guide instructors through this transition, which will be distributed before the start of Senior 5.
We are doing the teacher training. We shall be using the online materials and the few that we shall have printed internally at NCDC. Then the actual hard copies to schools will be availed during the course of the time.
Despite the creation of this transition curriculum framework, the center is still reviewing the entire A-level curriculum, which could not be finalized in time for the first cohort of the lower secondary curriculum. I'm Nafka Farida and Abdunassil Wama.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug. Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
Now, into our next segment, the Karamoja Aerial Surveys Project has been completed and the results of minerals prospects in the region unveiled to the public. According to the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, the data shows high prospects of minerals such as iron ore, copper, gold and limestone.
This project that commenced in 2020 marks a significant milestone in Uganda's efforts to develop its mineral resources.
So we want to encourage investors and all well-wishers to come and unlock the potential in Karamoja in the mineral sector. So there's a lot, it's a black check. If we are to keep poverty out of Uganda, then Karamoja has to be at the forefront in terms of this mineral sector.
The Karamoja area survey results provide vital insights into the mineral potential of Karamoja and Lamu, which will attract much-needed investment and pave the way for a more sustainable exploitation of the resources.
The results of the project, which we are launching today, indicate high prospectivity from minerals such as iron ore, copper, gold, and limestone. We believe that these findings will attract significant investment in the mineral sector and contribute to the development of Uganda's economy.
Now it is time to use this information to attract big investment, while being very considerate that as a ministry, we are promoting foreign investment but we must strike a balance with development of the citizenry.
The report indicates high prospects for minerals such as iron ore, copper, gold and limestone.
We are not coming here to change the tradition. We came here to map the minerals and inform you.
The data from the airborne geophysical and geological mapping of Karamoja will not only support mineral exploration, but also assist in attracting both local and foreign investment, contributing directly to Uganda's economic growth.
We aim to ensure we attract formidable investors in the region of Karamoja, but also Lamu, so that with this investment we are able to unlock this particular wealth in the country.
People of the area must really benefit out of this through education, etc. Good enough. Some companies have already started doing so.
According to Nankabirwa, the ministry will engage stakeholders, including investors, local communities, and other government agencies, to ensure that the benefits of this project are shared equitably. Maureen Babidie for UBC.
Now, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is conducting a monitoring visit to assess the progress of projects funded by the Center program. The visit aims to evaluate the impact of the initiative on beneficiaries and ensuring sustainability. During the visit, the Deputy DRC Kasangati Town Council, Maria Lubega, emphasized the importance of involving the local leaders in the implementation process to enhance the program's effectiveness.
The Center Program, a government initiative launched in 2017, seeks to increase decent employment from 34% to 55% by transforming the informal sector. Since its inception, it has supported over 20,000 beneficiaries across 93 districts.
Comes in to support Juakali by increasing productivity in their businesses and enhancing job creation. Under the Center program, we have supported over 781 groups countrywide. So the program is national. It is a grant program. If you benefit under this program, the toolkits and equipment that you receive is not for refunding back to the government, but it is for utilizing under the groups.
We are making plastic bricks. Those are plastic bottles filled with the soil and they can be used in construction as bricks. But when we went to the ministry, we were advised, and also we saw in the market people did not understand our business. They didn't want to build with plastic bricks. So we were given a machine that makes paver.
The machines we are using, they were so poor, very slow, they are not heavy duties. So we were suffering for sure, we are suffering locally. When we talked to Minister to the CDOs, when we are in the meeting for community development, when they advised us to contact the Minister of Gender, so good enough, the Minister of Gender responded positively, and they told us what we have to do. We wrote our budget, we gave them the budget, we quoted down the machines in need, and good enough, the reaction was not bad. They gave us 2 machines, 2 heavy duty machines, manual use, and we are proud of that.
Many beneficiaries acknowledged that the Center program has significantly improved their financial stability. It has also empowered Juakali artisans, enabling them to train and employ others. However, some groups reported challenges, including receiving equipment that did not align with their specific job needs, limiting full utilization of the resources provided.
Tuli mu kitundu kino abantu tebalina bulungi ssente. Kati machine eno gye tulina yesinga ekola design ku bitanda. Naye nga wano we tuli wano batono nnyo abasobola ebbeeyi y'ebitanda byaki bya design.
Ne mota eyajjirako yali nnafu. Byonna byali binafu ebyajjirako. Ne twetaaga machine medium size zesobola okukozesa ng'osobola okuyita kaana oba myaka oba nga 18 nga asobola ogikozesa.
Deputy RDC Kasangati Town Council, Maria Lubega, urged government ministries to actively involve district leaders in project implementation to ensure resources are effectively utilized.
So, gender and other ministries, I'm calling upon those sister agents, ebiri mu economic transformation, mukolaganenga n'abakulembeze, mujje mu offices zaffe tulabe nti abantu baganyulwa programs zituuka ku bantu. Program tuzireeta ne zikoma ku district ne zikoma ku council, you know. Abakyala tebamanyi n'abaami tebamanyi bigenda mu maaso.
Mary Namkose, Joseph Movidu, UBC News.
Now, as we cross over to Bugisu cultural leader Umukuka III, His Royal Highness Jude Mike Mudoma, he highlighted 5 major areas of focus which will attract foreign investments aimed at developing Bugisu sub-region. The key sectors prioritized include coffee production and trade, which aims at enhancing both quality and quantity of exports, tourism development, showcasing regional and natural beauty, and the rich cultural heritage, among others.
I've been on a 1-week-long trip to the United States of America, where I was actually invited to attend the inauguration ceremony of President Trump. I was among the few world leaders who were invited. I left the USA happy man because my trip has been very, very productive. The number of people I've met have expressed willingness and enthusiasm to come to Uganda, and more especially my kingdom, to partner with us, to collaborate with us, and invest in this country. The areas of interest, of course, I told them that for us in Bugisu, our cash cow is coffee, Arabic coffee. I told them it's the best on earth planet, and they believed it. Yes. Because Bugisu Arabic coffee, there is nobody who can compete. It is a reality. So I have attracted a number of people, giant entities, who want to come to Uganda and help us to improve on the quality and the quantity, so that we can now sell our coffee to those agencies. Then I also had people who are interested in education and technology, who are willing to come. And one of them, very rich person, said, "I want your kingdom to be a center of technology." And she's a lady. She says she's coming to Uganda in February, so that we concretize issues on how she's going to help us. Another area where I also got another team who, when I told them about the disasters we incur in Mount Elgon, and the people are being displaced, I requested for affordable housing construction. There is a company which is willing to come also very soon. We carry out a memorandum of understanding. They start constructing affordable houses.
Now, Ministry of Education and Sports has issued a stern warning to proprietors of vocational training institutions operating without licenses, citing concerns over the quality of skills imparted to learners. Officials say their proliferation of unlicensed institutions is compromising vocational education standards and jeopardizing students' future employment prospects.
Crackdown comes amid growing concerns over the rapid rise of vocational institutions operating without accreditation. The ministry says many of these schools lack adequate facilities, trained instructors, and standardized curricula, leading to a wave of graduates who struggle to meet industry expectations.
We only recognize, as Ministry of Education, we recognize those who are either government founded, those who are faith-based, founded but registered by us, or grant-aided. We recognize those who are private providers, whether in a company or in your own home or an institution, but you have come to Ministry of Education and you have been assessed and you have been given particular skills whom we have found that you are capable of delivering.
Muhwezi emphasized that the induction of new principals is part of a broader government initiative to professionalize vocational education leadership and mitigate challenges that school heads face when overseeing technical training programs.
We thought it very important that they are inducted through this process. And then they are also supposed, the term is opening very soon. So they need to get into the system very fast so that when we are gauging their performance, we don't gauge their performance from the past, but from the present.
A member of the Directorate of Industrial Training Council echoed these concerns, emphasizing the vital role vocational training plays in absorbing Uganda's growing workforce.
I've had a challenge of producing a workforce that cannot be easily absorbed into the job market. So it is important for us to indeed look at how we can change this, how we can marry the two, so that we can have a workforce that is trained and can be easily absorbed into the job market.
With Uganda's unemployment rate among youth remaining high, vocational education is seen as a crucial solution to bridging the skills gap and preparing young people for the job market. Helen Barbara and Isabelle Paul for UBC News.
Lillian! Lily flower!
Osmosis.
The cedar burst of beauty, the power bank of my heart, the sugar of my milk tea.
I'm glad you're here. Today buy for us some chicken.
No problem, you can eat whatever you want. I had already ordered. How much?
122.
122? Now, what if I take this one and this one? And can I also borrow this one? How much now?
When your money is not enough, don't hassle. We're sorting it with MTN Momo. Use the Momo app or dial *165 *5# to add call with Momo Advance and pay.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with its partners, invites you to the commemoration of World Wetlands Day on February 2nd, 2025 at Katerera Playground, Rubirizi District, starting at 9 a.m. The theme for this year is Conserving Wetlands Today for a Secure Tomorrow. The guest of honor is His Excellency the President of Uganda. Let's celebrate the vital role of wetlands in sustaining life and livelihood. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Rubirizi District Local Government, in partnership with UNDP and GCF Projects.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
As we step into the world of business, the month of January 2025 has registered an increase in inflation to a tune of 3.6%, a rate surpassing December's 2024 rates. This has been revealed Friday at UBO's headquarters in Kampala. As we hear more from this report.
In the past month, Uganda registered an inflation rate of 3.3%, which has since increased to 3.6% in the month of January 2025, according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics. This increase is attributed to the annual core inflation, which has also increased.
We have the annual services inflation. Here we had a 6.3% increase for the year ending January for the 12 months, compared to the 6.1% for the 12 months ending December 2024. And then we also had the annual other goods inflation. We registered a 2.5% in January compared to the 2.2% for the 12 months ending December 2024. It means from the base period, which is 2016-17, the prices have increased by 34.33%. Yeah. So if you had 100 shillings, for each 100 shillings you had in 2016-17, you now need 134.33 to buy the same basket of goods as we normally share with you.
It is important to note that Kampala recorded the highest inflation rate of 4.8%, with Mbale as the lowest.
And it was mainly driven by transport. That increased to 6.9% from the 6.0%.
With all the increase in major commodities, it is however noted that fuel registered a decrease in inflation.
And here we had decreases. First of all, the liquid energy fuels inflation, we had a minus 7.4% for January compared to minus 8.5% for the 12 months to that period.
Important to note was the price of smoked tilapia that increased to 35,976 a kilogram, surpassing every commodity in the month of January. Kayen Faith, Marian Aori for UBC.
And onto the international scene, residents of Goma, a key trading hub in eastern DRC, are enduring severe hardships as clashes between the National Army and the M23 rebels disrupt essential services. Water shortages have forced civilians to fetch water from Lake Kivu, worsening the humanitarian crisis. As we hear more.
Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi vowed on Wednesday to mount a response to reclaim territory seized by M23 rebels who captured the eastern city of Goma earlier this week. In a televised address, Tshisekedi accused Rwanda of backing the M23 insurgency, which he described as a, quote, terrorist enterprise. The president said he had convened emergency meetings with government and military officials to assess the situation and plan countermeasures. Earlier on Wednesday, nearly 300 foreign mercenaries hired by the Democratic Republic of Congo government had surrendered to the rebel group. They were hired to bolster Congo's underpaid and disorganised army, but with limited coordination made the conflict worse, according to a group which maps unrest in eastern Congo. After being cornered alongside remnants of Congo's army and its allied militias, they handed themselves over to United Nations peacekeeping troops for transit home through Rwanda. Before crossing the border, one mercenary was scolded by an M23 spokesperson in front of journalists. Rwanda, which diplomats say backs M23 fighters, called on Wednesday for a ceasefire across eastern Congo and for Congo to negotiate with the rebels while denying Rwandan troops were involved. Rwanda's foreign minister told Reuters fighting will halt in Goma itself because it is now controlled by the rebels. People in Goma said looting and sporadic gunfire continued on Wednesday. Congo considers M23 a terrorist group and refuses to negotiate directly with it.
Yangu ni kusema kama hii turu yenye nimekuya shota kwa hii lake, ombi yangu kesho kama binaweza wezekana au kesho yake bajikaze kutengeneza jushie population ndio balipia ongoza, na bila mai hatuwezi kuishi. Bajikaze batusaidie kwa ajili ya kuleta mai, tutashukuru sana na tutafurahia.
Mie vraiment kungambo yangu mimi naweza penda vita isha hata sai. Tu tunateseka sana tangia tulikala mu manyumba atupate solution fulani. Chala tunatafuta tuya manyumba, mai tuko na kia tafuta huku mbali, tunatoka kule kia tafuta mai. Vraiment mimi napenda vita iishe. Watu basikilizane, tuseme neno moja, tutembee na
Now into sports, the 2025 season of the Golf Entebbe Stanbic match play is set to swing off on 8th February 2025. It was launched Thursday evening with a focus to support the Entebbe Referral Hospital as a way of contributing to the betterment of the healthcare services in Entebbe community.
They say health and sports go hand in hand. That's the reason why this year's season of the Golf Entebbe Stanbic Bank match play will focus on supporting the Entebbe Referral Hospital with equipment throughout the season. The announcement was made Thursday evening at the Stanbic Business Center as the season was launched.
We've been doing this for the last 3 years, or this is going to be the third year. And the sponsors have come along with us, so it's a big deal. They make a big deal. They make it a big deal for the customers who then play for in the tournament, or should I say the golfers. It's going to be exciting this year. Let's see, how can we help the community? How can we help the hospital in Entebbe? Because it serves pretty much everybody in the community. It's a general referral hospital. So this year we thought it wise to say, let's put that twist on the tournament. It's not just about having fun. It's just about enjoying the tournament, but our giving back is a big deal.
We plan to have a better competition than ever before. And of course, as Isaac has mentioned, that this year we're going to have a focus on some on Entebbe Referral Hospital, where they plan to buy some equipment for the hospital. So as plans are going, we are planning to, for every round in the series, we plan to raise some money towards that cause, and we are very hopeful and grateful to the members of Entebbe Club and the golfing community at large.
Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital is one of the 17 regional referral hospitals in Uganda, and it is having a very big mandate. It serves a population of about 4.3 million people and covers about 5 districts of Butambala, Gomba, Mpigi, Wakiso, and some other parts of Kampala. We provide a very wide range of services, both general services and specialized services. So the decision by Stanbic, by Entebbe Golf Club, to look at Entebbe and support it with equipment, for this we do appreciate. You know, when you buy an equipment, this is something which can be used over and over for probably even several years, and it may change many people's lives.
The Entebbe Stanbic Bank match play is an amateur golf competition done over 12 months and gives amateurs a platform to improve their golf and handicap. The other thing about this season is the numerous prizes that will be won at every stage of the match play.
This time round, as you can see, we have a Suzuki Grand Vitara Hybrid Electric, which is up for a hole-in-one in this particular qualifiers game. And we also have the Yamaha FZN 250. So whether you like cars or bikes, we've got you sorted. We're just trying to create more excitement, more engagement with the players of the Entebbe Golf Club.
The 2025 Entebbe Stanbic Bank match play will swing off on the 8th of February 2025 at the Entebbe Golf Course.
That's all we had time for. Thank you once again for allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpungu. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock.